Sanjay Nambiar, purple belt out of Custom Academy, up against Robert Pelle from Absolute MMA. Mikhail is back off at doing corner duties, and I have the pleasure of being rejoined by Joanne Skiba, a guard pull to start us off with.
That's right. Last time we saw Sanjay in a very impressive performance. In fact, he finished it quite quickly, so I'll be interested to see if that's what he can pull off this time.
Yeah, and he's up against an opponent from a well-known, well-respected gym in Absolute MMA, Lachlan Giles. Mikhail over from Melbourne himself, coaching in the corner, animatedly, and both men looking to assert control. Sanjay comes up, looking for the takedown.
Surprised he didn't follow that one through. Like, he seemed to have a pretty good grip there for it, but he abandoned it.
Oh, wow. Both men aggressive in their guard passing attempts, and Sanjay looking to isolate a limb as soon as he could. I'm already very impressed by Sanjay's aggressive style. You know, happy from the bottom, happy to attack from that position. Both men come back to center. Sanjay scooting forward, looking for another control, grabs the leg. And Robert asserts a knee cut position. So Joe, a favourite position of yours here, yes?
Yeah. I have a top system and a bottom system. Sanjay is certainly playing into that sort of bottom system. I really like to try and get a bit more close and clinch on the legs with my hands so they can pull them in. You know, you want to be playing your guard, or you want to be playing your passing. You don't want to be, at someone else's mercy of theirs. Yeah,
and Sanjay coming out of Costa Academy. Everyone, if you know Rod Costa, if you know the scene, Rod Costa, very, very technical black belt coming out of Brazil. Current MMA champion, and real all-round fighting. You expect to see the same from his students.
Yeah, look, both of these guys are really scrambling, working through a lot of movements really quickly. I'd like to see at least one of them, if not both, slow it down a little bit, because I think they're going to get more control and more out of what they're actually attempting to do.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me, what I'm seeing with Robert, is like his entries are good, but then he keeps relieving the pressure on Sanjay. He keeps backing out, so he's not keeping that pressure up on him. Basically, it's really interesting. He looks to have got that leg tight. Can he work it towards isolate a limb for a finish? Not quite, and we end up back into guard. Sanjay postures, sits for the leg again.
Sanjay seems really keen to play from the bottom, set up those bottom attacks, and he's just recycling back to them when he can.
Yeah, and it's the importance of controlling, if you're attacking someone like Sanjay, the importance of controlling his hip line, getting hip to hip, shutting down his ability to, attack in the way that he's attacking, because it looks incredibly dangerous to me. And Robert hasn't been able to establish any kind of top or, real solid pressure. And as I say that, he passes guard, which is great work. Sanjay is working, comes to turtle.
Yeah, that's right. I was just about to say I'd like to see Robert to start controlling those feet and the hooks. And right as he did that, he controlled it, pinned it to his bum, and was able to pass. So we're back in this guard. I'd like to see him repeat that kind of pathway, or at least that goal of pinning or controlling those feet of Sanjay, knowing that he's trying to set up these attacks.
That's right. To break a dangerous player like this down, you've got to make them carry your weight. You've got to make them under pressure. And Sanjay's just looking to pull the leg through, isn't successful. Robert looked to pass again. Sanjay manages to fend them off. Leo Bobadil stops the fight, brings them back to centre. Interesting start, Joe.
Yeah, look, I think Robert's probably getting really frustrated with just how good Sanjay is at just getting these feet back into play every time he's trying to deal with it. Having said that, they both seem sort of comfortable where they are, just hard to find their actual footing of getting to their A game.
Yeah, Sanjay's incredibly flexible. You can see that in his guard play. He's really, really comfortable in that position. He almost trying to invite him to get that chest-to-chest pressure, but Robert hasn't been able to do that as of yet.
I think Robert could really benefit from a good crossface or head and arm control here at this position here. He hasn't seemed to go for it just yet, but
he's working on that hip control, but just hasn't managed to lock him down yet. He's looking like he's starting to apply a little bit of pressure to his hips. This is what he needs to be doing. He needs to now start moving up his body and get those shoulders pinned. Sanjay's not really framing too much right now, and that means Robert, once he gets past that leg, he can absolutely travel up his body.
Yeah, what happens with this sort of position that's really hard And, oh, he's got a body lock now. That changes things a little bit. If you don't have a body lock and you're coming around that corner, the frames can be a real issue because you end up exposing your back and people can sort of really frame against it and it just starts all over again.
Sanjay is very good at getting his hips back into play, even from bad positions. So I think that's making just a little bit of a problem for Robert, just because he's a bit wary of the sweep or anything, or being counter-attacked from Sanjay getting his hips underneath him. And good guard break. And they come back to centre again. And absorbing match. I've got to say, I'm actually really intrigued by watching both of these men work. Solid technical passing from Robert, but you know, he's not able to finish those passes, and Sanjay's just like a rubber band. He's just back to position.
Sanjay looks really hard to deal with these sorts of passes that Robert's trying to set up. And he's framing just enough to just make him feel like he can't finish what he's actually starting.
Absolutely, absolutely. Do you think he's paying him a bit too much respect?
Yeah, you know what? I almost would like to see a little bit of explosion from him because I think that would take Sanjay by surprise. I think
absolutely.
You know, he's letting it get into his head, just these little annoyances, when I think that if he actually committed to something, he could probably pull it off. Yeah,
it does look like a little bit of a training match to me for Robert, and Sanjay looking to attack the leg now from this almost a donkey guard position almost.
We could see a leg entry.
Yeah, both men sitting for the leg, both men coming up. You can hear his corner shouting there, but didn't take the advice of coming up and continues to play from the bottom. Sanjay obviously very comfortable there. Robert looking to pass again. You can see where Robert's strengths are, can't you? That consistent approach to passing, trying to take the back there. Can he work it? He may look to get a choke. It looks
He's got a very good bite on that neck and around that head.
He's a bit high at the moment in time. Sanjay should come up. And he does come up, and now he wants to put his back on the floor, turn into him, but Rob does really, really well to maintain control.
That was really well recycled. I like the way that Rob changed his hips and his position just enough to get Sanjay to land right back where he wanted him.
And Rob's going to look to take full position now, full back control with both hooks in. And now he wants to start attacking Sanjay's arms and looking to expose that neck. Looking to try to just pull him away, and Sanjay's doing the right thing. He's moving, he's trying to spin. He does spin, he returns to guard. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. He is a slippery customer, Joe. Pulls for the leg.
Seen this a couple of times from Sanjay. He's almost, you know, it's like he's thought about going for the legs and then he's abandoned it halfway through. I'm wondering sort of what's going through his head with that kind of movement, whether it's just that he doesn't feel like something's right or if he's just almost trying to get inside his head.
I think what we're seeing here is what Sanjay's best game is, in that Rob's playing into it, but Sanjay isn't able to enact a submission or affect a submission. So Rob is just working through his passes slowly but surely. And, you know, again, I gave last fight to Gabby through the control she had, but, you know, we might see referees or judges making the decision here around who is the one who's attempting to get the finish.
Yeah, it's really hard when you take into account control versus submission attempts.
Correct.
And it can go either way in people's eyes because everyone sees jiu-jitsu in slightly different lens.
Correct, that's right. And, you know, when Sanjay's taken the choice to play from this position, it's not like Rob's put him here. He's choosing to play
That's
ball.
A fantastic point, yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. And we move into the last cause. He looks for an armbar. It isn't quite there. Sanjay recovers and both men end the match. Really engrossing matchup.
Wow.
Gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by judges' decision, fighting out of the red corner, Robert Pelle!
winner. Well done by decision there. How did you feel throughout that match? It was obviously quite a very frustrating match, trying to get past Sanjay's guard there. How did you feel, especially in preparation for someone like Sanjay? How did that look for you?
Firstly, thank you everyone for coming out. I appreciate it. Thank you. I know Jiu-Jitsu is a small community, so we need to make it bigger, so thank you very much. Sanjay is a nightmare to deal with, to get ready for. He's incredibly talented, incredibly fit. I had nightmares of buggy chokes, just trying to escape him. He made me work for this training camp. I've got to thank Mikhail, everyone from Absolute, my partner Laura, obviously Sanjay for making me work for this training camp. And last but not least, thank you God for giving me the opportunity to perform tonight. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you very much for a wonderful performance. One more question as well. Having been on the stage now here in Perth, what's next for you? Are you looking to do more fight shows, or do you like those more round robin competitions, do you reckon?
Anything, man. I'm down to go for anything. I've seen one of those cool belts for the heavyweights and the 90 kilos. If you make one for 66, I'll be down for that for sure.
I'm sure we will. All right. Thank you very much for coming over here. I appreciate it very much. All right, he was Sanjay. This is your second appearance on Battleground, is that right? Last time we had a pretty definitive performance from you, and this time obviously not walking away with the win. It looked like you were very comfortable staying on your back and you wanted to invite him into that sort of area. How are you feeling in terms of dealing with the pressure of him trying to pass you there? And did you ever feel sort of like at risk in any of his passing attempts or submission attempts in that process?
Yeah, absolutely. He's from a great team, great camp. Obviously, Mikhail, such a beast, and Lachlan Giles. You know, everyone's obviously heard of him, so I knew he was going to be super tough, and that's exactly what he brought. Man, yeah, his passing is fucked. Like, it's so good. Like, I was like so tired on bottom, but I just kept like pummeling. But obviously, great job to him. Very good top pressure. Yeah, I think he might have had the guillotine once or twice, but yeah, no, he's an animal. So. Such a pleasure to compete against him.
A great back and forth match, guys. Couldn't have picked a winner myself. Thank you very much for being out here.